So dudes, Mr. Few the Aquarium Dude, out here on episode 2. If you recall from episode 1, I just showed you my fish, most of my plants, and my mystery snails. If you recall, I also showed you what was up here, a ton of baby snails. They've been most moved, there's plenty in here still, but my cherry shrimp are all gone. They have been moved into a brand new tank just for them. So this is my like 1.8 gallon Nano cherry shrimp tank. And so I have probably 25-30 shrimp in there. You can see they're moving around happy as can be. I have about 4 different plants in here, and I bought this whole thing for $15 used on Facebook. They're like shopping Craigslist kind of site. $5 for gravel. Other than that, everything else was from either other tanks or gifted, like these shrimp. And so I'm going to go through in a video today on how to set this whole thing up and get those shrimp in there. So if you are either interested in setting up a nano tank for yourself or just interested in cherry shrimp, stick around. 7" by 7" by 7". So perfect cube, and it's going to be perfect for my little shrimpies. And so I got the lids off for you to see them one more time. If you didn't watch the first one, I got gifted about 40 cherry shrimp, so you can see all those in that one pocket there. And this was an okay little DIY project. Just drilled a ton of little holes in a egg carton. So I got it from Lowe's, about 10 bucks. You can see all my little snails in there, hopefully. Hatching those out, growing them out, I should say, mystery snails. And they'll be along for the ride too. So I'm moving all of that's going to be tore down and move it all over to here. And so I'm just going to walk you through how I establish a new tank. You got to get something from an old tank. So if you're setting up a new one, go to an aquarium store. Maybe they can give you an old filter, or hopefully you got a buddy or something. But I will be using established media, which they're just a ton of little rocks. They look like this. I guess they're ceramic tubes. And so I've had them in the tank. Okay, Mac. Hey, buddy. And so that'll throw me off. And so the bacteria grow on it, and they'll turn ammonia into nitrate. So you have to check out a video if you're unsure of the nitrogen cycle, why that's important for fish. Ammonia is really bad for them, but nitrates, they can handle pretty good range, as well as it's good for the plants. So I'll show you how I'm going to set this up. I'll use tank water from here, establish bacteria, and tomorrow put the shrimp in. So give it a day to cycle, and so let's get started. Alright dudes, we're out of the kitchen, got the canister filter cleaned up, put back together. You can see I got some of that ceramic tile all in there. I kind of stacked it up for them to have a little mountain there. Got it actually came with, and I didn't realize, a heater right there. And so you can kind of see right there, it's an under gravel filter, or sorry, heater. So put the thermometer in there in a few minutes and see what we got. We got it's called a sponge filter. They're real common. If you see those bubbles there, it's just a little air pump in the back. It draws the water up with it. So there's not really like a mechanical filter other than just those bubbles pulling that water up. And so I have with me some what they call a pinky floss. Well, shoot, where did it go? I have a feeling Mackey's involved. A little bit of filter media there, so just put it in there and kind of collect some of the dirt and things that come. I can see it's been running for about 15 minutes, a little film there on the top, and so that should settle in. But things left to do is to get a light there. I'll kind of get a sticky one. I gotta actually head to Home Depot for that, and I think that should do it for us for at least the day. Probably top off the water, and then tomorrow these guys, as well as their plants, will make a move. But you can see how much water I've taken out making this thing. You can kind of see real quick that it's a little bit of chaos in there, so I'm going to make sure to top that water back off before I finish. So, got 2 things to do, and I might just wait to show you that light after tomorrow. So, I'll see you then. I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that I got it all scaped. I think it looks pretty good. Kind of switching over around those rocks. I'll tell you right now that I've never felt something so stressful as trying to put those plants in. The whole thing tumbles down. I put it back. I shouldn't even say stressful. Frustrating, you know, or you just want to freak out. So I finally got it up there, probably on the 15th drive, and at some point you just say enough is enough. So I got that there. I don't really mind it looking just messy and whatever. You see I got my 2 Ludwigia over there, hopefully going to grow out. I got my Anubias back there, and then I really did like the job moss on this side, and I really dug it down. So, you know, I'm hoping to not cover up this whole area here where you can't really see what's going on. So it really just grows super thick, and then you pull it out to make it grow. And so I can really, if I sit it in there, it'll grow out on the edges, but all of these in here will start new sprouts in there instead of coming out. And so at some point, you know, I'll just move it over with my big pit of moss up there, and you can kind of see how that's growing. You know, hey girl. Yep. The bad news, I tested my water, and if you leave the bacteria or the media out too long, the bacteria will die and create ammonia. And so everything tested normal except for ammonia, which is a problem. And so if I show you trying to find a good way, oh, here's a good spot. So you want to do it against a white background, and you follow directions. It has these bottles, and but you can see how green that is. If I would test my water right now, it would be yellow, like as yellow as that's just the normal color of the liquid. It would stay that color. And so this is a big problem. This would kill my fish real quick. And so like I started to say though, is if all those bacteria died when I was moving them, or a lot of them, they would create ammonia. So ammonia is formed like fish poop will form, as well as if a fish dies or something dying in the tank is going to make ammonia. And so sadly for us, no shrimpies today. And I got all my shrimp in here now, and it was not easy. What I ended up doing is taking this off, and most of these popped off, and it's real fun to try to get those back in. But so what I did was kind of put half of this thing into it like that, and then tilted it on its side. And so by doing that, I kind of, here, let me put this down. So, you know, with this hand, I had it tilted up and just slowly took that much out of the water until they were all in these last cubes, and then I kind of just dumped it in. And at one point, the rim of this net got under the water, and one of them jumped out. And Sonny was so close to getting them. He chased them down a couple times, and they are just so fast. Hey, get away from there, buddy. And they are just so fast that he cannot catch them, and it drives him crazy. I've had, of the, I would say 40, I had one die in the very beginning, and so I threw him in, his body in for Sonny. And so he's got a taste of them, but he just can't catch them. If I would go through this right here, there's probably 6 or 7 in there that just through the 4 or 5 times that either one's, or either this has gotten too low, or, you know, there's 3 that I put in there initially to test to see if he would bother them. And so, plus that one. And so in the morning or night, I'll see them kind of stick their head out of there, but they know Sonny's around. Luna is kind of, he's interested in them, but I've never seen her actually take the bite. So she kind of just, I don't know, checks him out, but maybe she's just nervous. And so what I'm going to do here, if I could get all these guys to the bottom where I can get a grip of them, I'm going to dump them in. And so let me get you at a spot where you can see the fish tank itself. squeezing the shrimp or anything. Ooh, lots of wiggles in there. And so I got to turn it upside down and let them loose. So here we go. You can see how many snails are at the bottom that got out of there too. These guys are just holding on to this Java moss for dear life. It's going in with you guys, don't worry. And I'll just squish that piece back into that corner with it. Once they're comfortable. And so, oh, one more snail, get off. And so, like I said, I'll pick all those snails out of here and put them back because I really do want to see them grow out here. And so, let's see. Do we see any more shrimp? Make sure everybody's gone. Oh, you're coming with me, buddy. And so there's the other blue snail. You can see. Let me put him under that light. He's not happy. Let me just plop him in there then. And so there we go. Let me move this out of the way so we can really see him. And they're gonna act a little scared right now. They've gone through a lot in the last 10 minutes, but if I could just kind of get a view of how many, what it's gonna look like traffic wise. You can already see that they're climbing up that rocks, and they're in this moss. They feel real comfortable there. You see a bunch of them back here, and I'm gonna have to fill that area with something. I don't really like that I can't see that area, and right now the tank is pushed out quite a bit, and so especially when it's way back here, I don't like that one bit. And so maybe I'll take some more ceramic tile and kind of fill that in. I could put some Java moss back there, but that would just make them want to be back there even more. And so I got to do some thinking. That's not something I'm going to do in the next day or two. I really do want them to get comfortable. Oh, you can see that female there with eggs. And there's another one with eggs. You can see the difference in color, And I want to get a colony established, so I'm not going to do anything different with the two of them. But I'm hoping in months or whenever I have a successful colony, I'll be pulling the kind of, I would say, blander ones and putting them in here. And so anything that I don't think is too great, I mean, you can see the difference between those two versus the one you had just seen. The females are always going to have a little brighter color, but you can see eggs in all three of those. So that's something that I look forward to doing, kind of breeding them for better colors. Those snails are not going to be easy to get out, but I mean, you saw how big they get. So at some point I'll be able to get those guys out, but I can see them really getting deep in those crevices back there. And me and my little cleanup crew, oh, there's another guy. And so they're really everywhere in this tank. So hopefully you enjoyed the whole setup of the tank on the last video, and so I just wanted to make sure you were able to see what the final product looked like. Let's take that last view there. Alright, dudes, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy them for a while, and hopefully you enjoyed them while you were here with me. So have a good one. Mr. Few the Aquarium Dude, out.